Okay, I'm back. All right, so as promised, we are sharing screen, and I do hope that this is coming through on the video. It does look like it is. All right, so what I've got here on the screen is today's daily transit. Now it says the 28th of December. However, that's in UTC time, so don't worry about the date. It's it's at the exact time that we're in. This is the daily transit. Um, so you'll see. So this is body graph, and I'm assuming that many of you have seen, or most of you would have seen the body graph before, either something I've shown you or that you've done your own research. And this is what a daily transit looks like. So you've got all the planets down the side here, and then you've got it shown up in the body graph here. So when we talk about the 3740 and all of that tribal influence, it's this channel here. So it's a whole channel that is activated. As you can see, these other ones up here are not connecting, so they're not fully, it's not a full channel activation. What this does for all of us who may not have the solar plexus and the will center, so the emotional intelligence center is the solar plexus, and the will center, which is your willpower, we all have this connected at the moment. So this is when I'm talking to you about all that tribal energy, that community, that reciprocity. That's where that lives. So I guess what I would like to explain then as part of that is, and sorry, when we talk about the 58 and 52, so the 58 is in the root down the bottom there, you can see, and then the 52 is also in the root. So they're both about drive, and that it's a motor center, so we'll be feeling like we have to push, and that's why I've been talking about, like, not to push, just have that ease and to sit in the moment before you act. So that's the daily transit, and that's how I get that information that I share each day with you. So if we just quickly look, I just want to maybe quickly explain how that might affect your chart. So so this is my chart that I've just pulled up on the screen. So you can see there's coloured centres, there's white centres, and then there's some white centres that have little dots in them. So all those coloured centres, what that means, so if you're looking at your chart, and you can always, if you haven't got your chart, you can always grab your chart on my website, which is humandesignstudio.com.au, and you can run this chart for free. So what this is showing us in the body graph, the areas, the centres that are coloured in, so I've got the throat, the solar plexus, the will center, the root, and the sacral, all coloured in. This is, so I want you to think about it like a radio frequency. This is a frequency, those coloured in areas is the frequency that I put out into the world. It's what I consistently have access to, and it's what I'm transmitting. These white areas, again, like a radio, I, in this case, am picking up the frequencies from other people, and the daily transit charts is what I'm picking up in here, in these white sections. And what happens with a like receiving that information means that I'm actually heightening it as well. So it's not a consistent energy. So if I'm around people who have definition in these the head and the mind, the ajna, then I'm receiving that information, and that's where I can be conditioned, because otherwise I'm very open. So I'm open to all of everybody's energies that are sort of transmitting through these two centers. But I don't project. I'm not putting that frequency out into the world because I'm very open in those areas. Um, but like I said, in these areas, so I actually have the 3740. So I'm always, my whole life is about reciprocity. So, that's where this energy that you're all feeling at the moment is constantly with me, and that's what I'm transmitting, either in its shadow or in its gift. And so when I say these coloured areas are what we're transmitting, we all can transmit those things in their gift frequency or their high frequency, or in their low or shadow frequency. So for me, in my life, I've often had lots of periods of frustration where I feel like I'm giving more than I'm receiving back, and so I've had to have lots of, sometimes that kind of comes out in emotional bursts or various different ways, but the best way I've dealt with it is communication, and so that I help people understand the expectations that I have if I'm giving something, what I would like in return. I've also experienced it the opposite way, where I feel like I'm receiving more than I've given, and so I'm never comfortable with that. So I often overgive rather than take advantage of a situation. That always makes me feel better. Not too much overgiving. I do it in a balanced way, but I sort of feel like that it's maybe not a 50-50. Maybe that's something I need to work on and get it down to a 50-50 rather than 60% me giving and 40% receiving. So, okay, so there you go. I've just initiated myself today with that little comment. Now, what I want to show you is what that looks like when you overlay the daily frequencies or the daily transits. So, this is me with today's transits. So you can see, maybe not straight away, but when we play with this app that I'm in, you can see I already had these 5 channels, but I've got these 3 new channels. So you can see when I highlight that, between the sacral and the root, there's a new channel. So I already had the 53, and in the daily transits, the 42 is activated. So all of a sudden now I have this channel activated between my root and my sacral. Now normally so if we go back and have a quick look, my sacral is white. So that means I don't have consistent energy with my sacral, and sacral is all about doing energy. So what I might find, given the daily transits, is that I now have this channel activated. Now we can see that this is the channel of maturation, and then we can see that it's a design of balanced development. So what I might feel in this transit is feeling more able to get things done, because it's my root and my sacral are connected. So it might give me some focused energy, and it's all about growth and moving through those beginnings, middles, and ends. And then this one, the channel of recognition, again, it's from the root but up to the solar plexus. It's not helping me define a center, because they're already both defined for me, but it's giving me very focused energy. But given that it's connected to the solar plexus, it is a creative energy. So it's giving me that sort of ability to focus on creative and innovative pursuits. And then with the third one, concentration, again, from the root to the sacral. So I've got these two channels now that I didn't normally have, between the root and the sacral, that is going to give me this extra energy for doing. So it's important that I don't turn that into a pushing type energy, because I wouldn't be used to having that sacral center activated. So it might mean that I'm like, wow, I've got to go and do all these things. So I do still need to listen to my body and make sure that I'm not overextending myself. So this last one is concentration. So it's a determination to get done what I guess want to focus on and get done. So that is a little, I guess, lesson 101 on the frequencies and how they can affect you. And just remember that not only are the daily frequencies affecting you, but the people you're around in those white areas in your body graph can absolutely affect you both positively and negatively. So we can run relationship charts where we can overlay two different people, and what you'll find is that there'll be areas of magnetism where you're actually really like this electric spark that you bring to each other. But then there'll be areas that you might have to work on. So it's always very interesting to overlay two charts and just see how they work together. So anyway, that's a little lesson today. Please let me know if that was helpful. If there's anything else about the charts that you would like to learn, I can overlay them, interweave them into the daily spark. And again, any feedback on these broadcasts and transmissions would be hugely appreciated, either in the group or in the comments, or a private direct message is also okay. Thank you for listening, and catch you tomorrow.